Monday through Friday, and from 9 to 5 on Saturdays. Call them today at 724-564-8955. Join us for another PA CareerLink Awareness Day event, the Fayette Proud Job Fair. Come out to the PA CareerLink Fayette County office on Thursday, September 18th from 2 to 5 p.m. to explore the unique opportunities that our county has to offer. Connect with community service representatives from PA CareerLink partners or network with local employers. The choice is yours. And also, Josh Krysak and myself, Matt Sapienza, will be broadcasting live from 2 to 4 p.m. and, of course, spinning our fabulous WMBS prize wheel. So, drop by the PA CareerLink Fayette County office, 112 Commonwealth Drive in Lamont Furnace on Thursday, September 18th from 2 to 5 p.m. For more information, call 724-434-5627. Fayette County has a lot to offer. Let's make the most of it and stay Fayette proud.
Local station, WMBS.
Good morning, and welcome to another Saturday edition of the Sportsline, being brought to you this morning by my good buddy Tom Vernon and KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown. The Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9 and Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out, enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you on what is shaping up as a beautiful Saturday. I know you'll be out and about taking advantage of the nice weather, but I do hope you'll take time out from your travels to pick up the phone and give us a phone call this morning. Two-way sports talk, the lifeblood of any sports talk show. Would love to hear from you on a variety of subjects. The telephone number, if you'd like to join the conversation, is 724-438-4593. That's the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, 724-438-4593. Okay. We've got an interesting show lined up today. Our Steeler interview, Steelers home opener tomorrow against the Seattle Seahawks, and the usual roundup. Troy Faltano, the starting right tackle for the Steelers, is one of the guys I interview each week. And Steelers star outside linebacker T.J. Watt, and we'll hear those interviews a little bit later on in the show. Big day in college football, huge day. And to that end, I reached out to my friend Bill Bender, the fine college football writer for the Sporting News. And Bill Bender will join me for some college football talk at 11:30. And you know we'll be talking about the backyard brawl between Pitt and West Virginia later today in Morgantown. Let's get to the scoreboard very quickly. WPIAL high school football scores. Games heard on WMBS. Indiana beats Laurel Highlands 48-7. Taylor Alderdice shuts out the Uniontown Red Raiders 40-0. Other local scores, non-conference play. Spring Mills, West Virginia, shuts out Connellsville 52-0. Albert Gallatin Colonials over Northern Garrett of Maryland 40-24. Southmoreland Scotties beat Blackhawk 24-17. McKeesport Tigers over the Bell Vernon Leopards 20-7. Ringgold downs Greensburg Salem 33-13. Mount Pleasant Vikings beat Ambridge 28-27. In Class A Eastern Conference, Jeanette Jayhawks swamped the Fraser Commodores 61-19. And in the Class A Tri-County South Conference, Avella beats the West Green Pioneers 18-16. Beth Center over the Mikes of Carmichael's 35-6. California gets by Bentworth 8-7. And the Jefferson Morgan Rockets swamp Mapletown 63-6. So that's a look at local high school football action. Turning our attention to the scoreboard for Major League Baseball, the Buccos lose their 7th in a row in gut-wrenching fashion as Canario was thrown out at the plate after a terrible slide, and the Washington Nationals beat the Pittsburgh Pirates last night in D.C. 6-5. Other National League action, Milwaukee beats St. Louis 8-2. Colorado over San Diego 4-2. San Francisco Giants take the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. Interleague play, Chicago Cubs beat Tampa Bay 6-4. Miami over the Detroit Tigers 8-2. Philadelphia Phillies beat the Kansas City Royals 8-2. Houston over Atlanta 11-3. Texas Rangers beat the slumping New York Mets 8-3. Minnesota takes Arizona 9-8, and the Athletics shut out Cincinnati 3-0. In the American League, Cleveland beats the Chicago White Sox 4-0. Toronto over Baltimore 6-1. New York Yankees beat Boston 4-1, and Seattle over the LA Angels by a score of 2-1. Top 25 college football action last night. 22nd ranked Indiana Hoosiers beat Indiana State 73-0. So that is a look at the scoreboard. Turning our attention to sports obituaries. Sad news. Guy I knew very, very well. Played a lot of sandlot basketball with him as we were growing up. Former LH Mustang, Rick Pushkar, who also played at Penn State Fayette campus in Waynesburg, passed away Monday at the age of 60 after a long battle with cancer. Rick Pushkar passing away. From the baseball world, Jim Marshall, a former Pittsburgh Pirate first baseman who played one season for the Bucks, also played for the New York Mets, Baltimore, the Cubs, and the Giants. He passed away recently at the age of 94. Jim Marshall. And a really sad note, this young lady was a tremendous, tremendous player in women's college basketball, and she left us much, much too soon. Tiana Magankaya, a former Syracuse women's basketball star who played professional basketball in Russia, France, and her home country of Australia, has died after a long battle of cancer. The family announced it on Friday. She was only 30 years old. Magankaya was a basketball star who still had so much more to give, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer in June of 2019, went through 8 rounds of chemotherapy and 2 operations. She put her WNBA ambitions on hold in April of that year, chose to return to Syracuse for her final year of eligibility. After her college career, Magankaya played professionally in Russia, France, and Australia. A new cancer diagnosis, however, forced her to take a break from playing and move into coaching. Tiana Magankaya passing away much, much too soon, and she was really a fun player to watch. I covered Pitt women's basketball when she was playing for Syracuse, doing the games on the radio, and she was really, really good. She passed away at the age of 30. All right. We're going to get a break in, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. Open line sports talk, your chance to get up on the soapbox and be heard. Anything and everything pertaining to the world of sports is on the docket. Telephone number if you'd like to jump into the conversation this morning from the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. That number is 724-438-4593. We'll be back right after this.
Everything you need for fall decorating is at Miller's Greenhouses and Flower Shop. Gorgeous fall mums, pumpkins, and corn stalks, too. Fall is a great time for planting, and to help get you started, trees and shrubs are now 20% off. Inside Miller's Flower Shop, you'll find fall flags, a variety of craft items, beautiful silk, fresh flower arrangements, cemetery decorations, and a whole lot more. Open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 to 6, Sunday, 11 to 4. Miller's Greenhouses and Flower Shop, Route 119 in Smithfield, 724-564-2696.
Amidar Transit, locally owned and operated by the Scott family, have been helping students travel to school safely in the Fayette County area for more than 4 years. Amidar Transit is a proud sponsor of Laurel Highlands High School sports and wishes all the area teams good luck. For more information about M&R Transit, call them 724-439-3164, 724-439-3164, or stop by their office at 253 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown.
You can go to Big Box Medical Office.
Now serving number 3,943.
Or
Hi, come on in. How are you feeling?
when you see doctors Paul Hartley and Mary Beth Riley, plus nurse practitioners Tara Bozek, Jessica Reckart, and Stacy Morris, you get one-on-one personal professional health care serving the area for over 3 decades. If you're looking for a primary care doctor, call Doctors Hartley and Riley at 724-437-1109 or online at ppcp.org. Or
Serving number 3,940.
Nemacolin presents Community Day, Thursday, September 18th at Bailey Park in Uniontown from 2 to 6 p.m. Watch the community softball game starting at 4 p.m. as the Uniontown Police and Fire Departments take on the Nemacolin Associates. Community Day will also feature yard games, an ice cream truck, bounce house, hot dogs, hamburgers, refreshments, and a DJ. The event is free to attend and open to anyone. That's Community Day presented by Nemacolin, Thursday, September 18th from 2 to 6 p.m. at Bailey Park in Uniontown.
ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Hi everyone, this is Kelly Clark with Autoland Hyundai in downtown Uniontown. SUV season is here, and you can get that new, certified, or select pre-owned all-wheel drive that you've been looking for. It's just a test drive away. Let me show you how simple you can buy or lease your next vehicle. The season is changing, so fall into your best deal with me. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai, 724-208-5281. 724-208-5281. Great selections, super pricing, and deals on your next wheels. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai, 724-208-5281. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai, 724-208-5281. I'll make you a good deal.
If you're an athlete, you know the importance of a strong recovery. NovaCare provides several athletic training programs geared toward athletic-related injuries and collaborates with Albert Gallatin, Uniontown, Fraser, California, Jefferson Morgan, Waynesburg, West Green, and Mapletown school districts to help student athletes stay at their best. From coordinating additional specialist care to treating on-site injuries, their experts cater to your personal needs. Specialized services include concussion diagnosis and rehabilitation and treatment for sport-specific injuries. For more information on athletic training at NovaCare, visit novacare.com or contact your local office today.
Hi, this is TJ Watt, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS Radio.
And welcome back to the Sportsline on this beautiful Saturday morning. Let's take our first phone call of the morning. Lines are open if you want to jump in. 724-438-4593 is the number to call. That's the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. All right. Our first phone call of the morning, and good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, George.
Good morning, Charles. Well, 7 in a row for your battling Bucks.
You know what, George? can I line up with you? I hope they do something like the 1961 Philadelphia Phillies did. 23 in a row. Because, like you've said before, that will prove without a doubt that this is a failure that needs to be acted on en masse immediately.
And, losing to Milwaukee is one thing, but losing to Baltimore and Washington, that's those clubs, aren't much better than the Pirates are, and they find maddening ways to lose games. That slide last night by Canario was,
George, that's what I said. Too many of these players today, George, they're just getting style points. Get to the plate and score the run, no matter how you do it. It's the most important thing that you score the run. Of course, you remember Matt Alexander, don't you?
Matt the Scat, yeah.
Yeah, who used to cross the plate backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing he never had to face Bob Gibson.
Bob would have drilled him.
He would have knocked Alexander to the dirt. But no, George, that's the tying run. You don't mess around. You get to the plate as soon as you can.
Yeah. Well, he slid wide instead of sliding straight in. Yeah.
Yeah, George, that's what a loser does. But I'm with you. I'd like to see them have a terrible September because that would...
Well, yeah, I don't want them saying, "Oh, look, we played well the second half of the season." I don't want them using that as some excuse to do.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's what. And the other thing, I don't want to hear this bull crap about that the answers are on the roster right now. The answers are on the roster for a club six last place finishes in a row. No, they're not. Don't give me that lot of crap. Seismic change, George, need be.
Well, I wish that was in the cards, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, George. And I was telling somebody this morning that I think this is Armageddon. If they do not flip the idea of making winning the only thing, there's going to be a quarter century more of irrelevance. And Pirate fans are going to be as scarce to find as Snowball Mills in Miami, Florida. Who cares? After all the lies and broken promises, do you think anybody's going to care?
Yeah, well, I don't know why I continue to watch them. Of course, it's part of what I do, but it's so tough to watch them play. It really is.
George, well, for me, I'm addicted to poker. You know me.
Right.
But anyway, there's other things I want to talk about. First of all, a couple of maintenance items. What network has the Steeler game tomorrow?
Fox.
Okay, Channel 10. Does Fox also have Philadelphia and Kansas City?
That I'm not sure of. Keep talking, and I'm going to see if I can find that. Go ahead.
Who do you like in Philadelphia, Kansas City?
Well, I sort of like the Eagles the way they're playing. It is a home game, but Kansas City didn't look real good.
No.
In their game. Of course, that game was played in Brazil,
Yeah.
and there were several questionable calls, but I'm not sure who's got Kansas City and Philadelphia. Yeah.
It's probably either 2 or 10.
Well, it will be. It'll be Fox or it will be CBS. Yeah. And it's a 4 o'clock game. Yeah.
Do you have any idea who has that Wisconsin-Alabama game?
That's ABC.
ABC. That's at noontime too.
Yeah.
Right after. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
George,
actually, we have it on our air too. We're carrying it on the radio.
I wanted to ask you. You know, the AFC North, it seems that now that the Ravens are the team in it, the premier team in that division over the last 5 or 10 years. But when that division was set up, in 96 or 97, remember it used to be the Steelers and 3 other teams?
Mm-hmm.
Where was it? What was it? It seems like Baltimore has passed the Steelers. Is it the fact that, one thing, whatever you feel about them, the Ravens, to me, are the team that comes to mind, like the Boston Bruins in hockey. The Ravens always seem, if they don't win, championship, they're always in there. They seem to draft well.
Well, they've drafted really well, and it's apparent. And that's one of the, I saw an article not too long ago. The last 6 Steeler drafts, there are only like 4 players out of those drafts still on the roster. That's bad.
Yeah, it sure is. Not as bad as the Pirates, but it's bad.
Right.
Nothing can be as bad as Pirates. No, but and I was gonna say this too. I wonder which team in the last 5 years, which NFL team, has the best winning percentage on the road. I would think it's either the Chiefs or the Ravens.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'd have to look that up, and that would take a little time to do that. One thing that surprised me in going over the notes for tomorrow's game, Seattle was 7-1 on the road last year.
7-1.
Right.
And yet
that's pretty good.
And yet the Steelers are favored by 3.
Right.
Oh, of course, that means it's an even game, because don't they give usually 3 points?
Usually 3 points is the margin that they give for home field, yeah.
It just seems like they darn near won that opening game last week in that madhouse in Buffalo, and they were winning by 15 points.
Well, that's the factor that I was shocked when I read some notes on it. Under John Harbaugh, the Ravens have blown double-digit leads during his coaching tenure in Baltimore 17 times.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow, George. That's amazing.
It is amazing, and you got to lay that to a great extent on coaching.
Yeah. But speaking of the Ravens, I still can't understand why the Steelers didn't go after Derrick Henry.
Well, money was one thing, and they already had what they thought was their running back in Harris, which was a miscalculation on their part.
But I mean, golly, Ned.
Actually, there were 2 factors. They looked at his age, because he is a little older. They looked at the money involved, which was a big factor, and the fact that they had drafted a running back with the number 1 pick a couple of years before that, and they were still committed to Harris. That's what led to all of that.
Oh, Henry's over 30, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, but George, even at that, even though the Ravens lost, didn't he have over 200 yards last week?
He did.
I mean, the guy is... Do you think he's the best running back in football right now?
Well, it's between him and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, no, that's right, yeah. Saquon. I forgot about Saquon. I was going to ask you this. Do you think either the Broncos or the Chargers could overtake the Chiefs in that division?
There's always a possibility. I want to see a little bit more of Kansas City. I just will say this about Kansas City. They're not as overwhelming as they have been in past years. But those 2 teams that you just mentioned, they've got some flaws too.
But it's getting to the point where Justin Herbert should really be blossoming into one of the great quarterbacks in the game. Do we play them? Let's see, we play them on the coast this year, don't we?
I believe so, yeah. I don't have the schedule in front of me.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
But do you think maybe Mahomes has slid a bit from what he was a couple of years ago?
Well, he slid a little bit, but it's also due to some of the people around him. He doesn't have a Tyreek Hill anymore. So, their receiving core is not near what it used to be. Makes it easy when you got guys wide open. Although, he does so many other things, but I think a little bit has to do with the cast around him,
Yeah. Let me ask you this. A lot of people are high on the Packers.
I am too. I like what I've seen so far.
Yeah. Do you think the difference is Michael Parsons?
Well, he certainly makes that defense even more formidable. But I really like the way the Packers' offense is perking right now. That quarterback, Love, is playing at a very, very high level right now.
Yep. He's going to be another one in the line of great Green Bay quarterbacks.
Yeah, they seem to, they go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, now to Love. That's a pretty good succession plan.
George, you forgot the best one of them all, Bart Starr.
Well, that was way, way back.
I know, but
they had some bad quarterbacks after Bart Starr.
Yeah, what Lynn Dickey.
But I'm talking about this succession that we've just had.
Okay.
That's been pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah. But let's see, we play them.
We do here in Pittsburgh, yeah, which is going to be really interesting. Yeah.
I want to ask you this: do you think the Steelers can be 6-0 in their first 6 games?
Possibly. Some things have to go right. There's some flaws from that first game. Now, you hear a lot, particularly in college, but it's also true in the pros, that the biggest jump a team usually makes is from week 1 to week 2. In fact, TJ Watt and I talked about that in the interview I had with him. But certainly, the Steelers have some work to do. The offensive line is a problem, and there's no sugarcoating it. And Aaron Rodgers, at his age, can't keep getting hit as much as he is. Or as Dick LeBeau told me on the phone the other day when we were talking, he won't survive the season if he keeps getting hit like that.
Yeah.
The running game still is not perking. And the defense, they look like last year. They were gashed for 183 yards by the Jets on the ground.
And there are better running games than the Jets.
No question. The Jets were playing without one of their top offensive linemen and still gashed them. So, there's some things that have to improve. There really are. Listen, I got to get a break in, Charlie. I appreciate the call.
Okay, George. Just keep losing, and make it impressive so that they can't say things are getting better in September, because they're not.
All right, Charles. You take care.
We'll see you next week, George. Thanks.
Bye-bye. And that frees up both of our phone lines. If you want to get into the conversation, call the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, 724-438-4593. That number again, 724-438-4593. Wide open board. You should have no problems getting through. We'll be back with more right after this timeout.
It's important to check your credit report for accuracy from time to time. Your credit history affects your ability to get a loan, how much you'll pay, and in some cases, whether you'll get a job. Under the new federal law, you're entitled to a free copy of your credit report once every 12 months. Log on to annualcreditreport.com or call 877-322-8888 8228. A reminder from the Federal Trade Commission, the nation's consumer protection agency.
You don't fix what's not broken. That's true. You don't replace what is working well. Jason Scott is doing a good job working as South Union Township Supervisor. Jason Scott utilizes his skills on a daily basis in the township office. Whether repairing storm drains, operating a plow truck, or working with his fellow supervisors on economic growth, Jason Scott is out there working for you all day, every day. Let's keep experience and integrity in the township. Keep Jason Scott, full-time South Union Township Supervisor.
Paid for by the candidate.
On this Sunday's Catholic Accent TV show, we catch up with 95-year-old Father Alexander Plevin, a Fayette County native, and we see the history of the Diocese of Greensburg through his eyes. He's been here since the beginning. We take you to Brownsville for a historic celebration in a parish, and 2 area young men are beginning their faith formation in seminary, both friends, both from the same parish. Watch the Catholic Accent this Sunday morning at 11:30 on WPXI.
Chris Parker Jr., what's happening at Autoland for September?
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and Autoland wants to focus on the Hyundai Hope on Wheels program, which has donated over $275 million to pediatric cancer research with every new Hyundai purchase since 1998. Hyundai is committed to pediatric cancer research, not just in September, but every day, all year long.
September is also the beginning of fall.
It's the beginning of the 2026 Model Year 2, with falling prices, great deals, and a super selection of 2025 Hyundai. Interest rates remain high at other banks, but you can take advantage of 0% interest for 48 months on the 25 Santa Fe, or 1.99% financing for 60 months on 25 Tucsons and Sonatas, or lease a 25 Hyundai Elantra SE for only $229 per month.
And every new Hyundai comes with 3-year free complimentary maintenance and Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Autoland Hyundai, 25 East Fayette Street, Uniontown, or visit their website, AutolandHyundai.com.
And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE SIPC.
Casey Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown and owned by the Vernon family, wants you to know they have new hours. Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come on into Casey's and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. They can also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126. Casey's, the best in Fayette County.
Hi, this is Bob Walk, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
Moving down the home stretch here in hour number 1 of the Sportsline Open Line Sports Talk, and let's go right back to the phone lines this morning. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline.
How you doing today, George?
I'm fine. How are you?
Battling a little bit of that cold going around, but I'm hanging in there. In your sports obituaries, did you mention that Davy Johnson passed away?
No, you know what? I completely forgot about that, and that's an oversight on my part. Davy Johnson, the former second baseman for the Orioles, also played for the Braves, a longtime manager. Yeah, he passed away last week. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, after his show was off last week, I seen it. It come up on my baseball.
Yeah, that's when he passed away last weekend. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, heck, he was a good second baseman, George.
Yeah, he was
good second baseman and a good manager. And did he record the last against the Mets in '69? He flew out to center field.
I believe it was Davy Johnson. Yes. Yeah.
Today, what do you think of the Pitt West Virginia game?
I sort of like Pitt based on what I've seen from West Virginia and the fact that they had some really crippling injuries. You know, West Virginia brought in a total of 81 players during the offseason because of the portal and people leaving and a new coaching staff and everything. That's the second most amount of players in college football. Now, that's quite a turnover. And 14 of those players are on the two deeps. And I did not like the way West Virginia played against Ohio U, although I warned everybody last week that was a possible trap game because Ohio U won the MAC the year before, and they had 11 wins the year before, and they had most of their team returning, including a pretty good quarterback. So I saw the danger there. But losing White, the running back, who is a game breaker for them, and Bray, the wide receiver, really hurts them. If they're going to have a chance against Pitt today, they're going to have to throw the football, and they have not shown a good ability to throw the football.
How about the Gallagher kid, George? Why are they using him? Or
he's playing. He caught 2 passes last week in the Ohio U game, but he's playing. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be an opener for them. I figured they was going to utilize him more, even when they, because even Pitt wanted him. But I'll say one thing right now: Pitt has a nice group of receivers right now.
They do, but the problem for West Virginia is going to be that offensive line, which did not play well against Ohio U. Well, they're going up against the strength of Pitt. Their defensive line and their linebackers are top-notch, and that's going to be a problem for West Virginia.
Well, they're saying this to me now that it's going to be more of a make-or-break year for Pitt. I think they ain't going no further than what the ACC is, and West Virginia just ran into some bad luck, like you were saying, and Penn State, when Franklin can get over the hill and beat the big teams, I'll consider them a national power.
Well, this is the year everybody's pointing at Penn State and saying they're a potential national champion. So they're really in the spotlight to get it done this year, Penn State is.
Well, with the Steelers right now, I can't see on most of these talk shows on other stations, people are getting down on Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the guy goes
Why?
out
He threw 4 touchdown passes and saved their bacon last week.
And you got a field, and you got the best field goal kicker in the game going with you right now too. And to me, George, that defensive line, there's no improvement in it.
I hope they play the kid from Iowa that was the 5th-round pick this year, Y.A. Black, a little bit more. I think that Loudermilk and Benton really have not played well. And I was talking with Dick LeBeau about this after the game last week, and he said the defensive linemen have to tie up the blockers, not necessarily make the plays, but they have to tie up the blockers and let the linebackers make the plays. No, that's not what's happening. Those linemen for the Jets were getting to the second level all game against the Steelers.
Well, even, too, with average running backs, with the Jets had, they had
well, no, the one kid is not an average running back. Breece Hall, he could play for my team any day of the week, the kid from Iowa State. He's a good running back.
I mean, they gave up 188 yards. I mean, what are you going to do when you go against other running teams? I mean, maybe other in Cincinnati and Cleveland.
Well, that's got to be cleaned up. And Tomlin said it best this week. We're getting beat. We're not defeating our blocks. That's just, the one-on-ones, they're not winning.
I'll tell you what, George, just watch Seattle tomorrow. A lot of people are saying that, this could be an easy game for Pittsburgh, but I just think these are, to me now, in professional football, that, you don't play the regulars in preseason and all, that I consider at least the first 2 games of the year, at least getting something together. I mean, some type of consistency between the players on, I'll go by the 3rd game, but tomorrow could be a trap game for the Steelers tomorrow because the Seahawks don't have a bad team.
No, well, defensively, they're putting the second most amount of pressure on the quarterback of anybody in the NFL, and that's not a good recipe considering the way Broderick Jones and the rest of the Steeler offensive line played last week. And Troy Faltano, in my conversation with him, admitted that we can't let our quarterback get hit that much. And, if Rodgers keeps getting hit like that, he's not going to survive the season.
Oh, no. Well, at least one thing, too, maybe for the defense's sake, the quarterback that Seattle has, he is an immobile quarterback also.
Sam Darnold, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if the defense could get on him, I mean, defensive backfield other than, okay, Porter being out and everything. And
Porter and Elliott are both out, which hurts, yeah.
And, I don't say really much with Porter. I mean, Porter got to come away yet. And you're missing a hit with Elliott, and hopefully if Peppers come in, and if the defense can get some pressure on, I'd say you maybe pick up a few interceptions.
I'm telling you what TJ said, and I don't want to give away the interview, but he said the way we played against the run last week in Seattle wants to run. They've got Charbonnet, and they've got the other running back, and his name just popped right out of my head, who's Kenneth Walker. They've got two good running backs. They want to run the football. Pittsburgh has to stop the run. They have to.
Well, that's either going to be that's either going to be one of their big demises on the team this year. I mean, I like the way the offense looks right now. Maybe the running game.
Well, what I worry about is the running game because Rodgers thrived with play-action passing. He's very good at it. But there's going to come a point with play-action if you're not running the football with any amount of success, the defense is going to ignore the run, which takes play action off the table. They're going to ignore the run. They're going to ignore the fake. So they've got to run the foot. Only 53 yards is not enough. That's not enough.
That's high school football there, George. But I like what Rodgers is doing so far. The quick hit.
He throws the ball quick, 2.9. That's the best in the NFL last week. He got rid of it 2.9. But, some other things have to we've been talking about the offensive line since training camp. It's got to step up. It's got to play better. They do.
Well, George, they're either going to do something, Broderick Jones.
Well, what are you going to do with him? There's nobody to take his place. I mean, he was the number one draft pick. They don't have another tackle to take his place. He's got to improve. He does.
Well, here's the point, too, George. They moved him to right tackle last year for a left tackle. It actually absolutely stuck. And what didn't he get? An $85 million contract somewhere?
Yeah, that was the guy that went to Tennessee. Yeah.
Dan. Or did he go to Kansas City?
No, he went to Tennessee. Yeah. Listen,
Tennessee.
I got to move on. We're up against the news. Okay?
Okay. George, talk to you next week. Have a good one.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye. And that wraps up hour number 1 of the Sports Line. But do not touch that dial. We've got another full hour of sports talk coming up. Steeler interviews with Troy Faltano and TJ Watt. College football talk at the bottom of the hour, 11:30, with Bill Bender from the Sporting News. So we got a really good second hour coming up. So keep it right here. 590 AM, 101.1 FM, WMBS. And we got the latest news coming up. The Sports Line is being brought to you this morning by my good buddy Tom Vernon and Casey Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9, Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out. Enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150. Located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. The news is next from the CBS Radio Network, right here on your local station, 590 AM and 101.1 FM, WMBS, Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Allison Keyes. The widow of murdered conservative Charlie Kirk is speaking out over his killing. Erica Kirk says she will never let his legacy die, and the campus tour he was on will continue.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, You have no idea.
This is Utah Governor Spencer Cox is pleading with people to use the public assassination of Charlie Kirk as a turning point away from political violence.
The question is, what kind of watershed? That chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history?
In London, thousands of protesters marched through the city for a rally called by a right-wing leader, reporter Catherine Arms.
Thousands have gathered in central London for a Unite the Kingdom protest organized by far-right leader Tommy Robinson. Supporters carrying pictures of U.S. conservative Charlie Kirk, shot dead earlier this week, are heading to government offices in Whitehall. The streets are heavily decorated with the British flag, and some U.S. and Israeli flags are dotted among the crowd. A counter-protest calling for peace and anti-racism is marching to the same site.
In suburban Chicago, an ICE agent fatally shot a man during a traffic stop. The Department of Homeland Security says officers were trying to arrest a man with a history of reckless driving and say he tried to drive his vehicle into federal agents. Lawrence Benito is an immigration advocate.
While we are still uncovering the details of this particular incident, we know the increasingly aggressive tactics of ICE do not keep our communities safe.
This as President Trump says the National Guard will head to Memphis over crime concerns. Trump says he'll solve the problems there like he did with his federal takeover of Washington, D.C.'s police department. Coffee drinkers are digging deep.
The latest consumer price index showed retail coffee prices jumped 21% in August from a year earlier, the biggest increase in 28 years. President Trump's tariffs are partly to blame. The U.S.'s top source of coffee, Brazil, is facing 50% tariffs. The second biggest coffee importer, Colombia, has a 10% tariff. The maker of Folgers, J.M. Smucker, warns it will soon have to raise its prices for a third time this year. Starbucks says it has been able to absorb the tariff costs so far. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The WNBA playoffs begin tomorrow, but without some of its biggest stars. No Caitlin Clark for the Indiana Fever as she is still injured. Still, 8 of the league's 13 teams are set to compete for this year's championship. The Minnesota Lynx are the number 1 seed. The Las Vegas Aces are the number 2 seed. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
That Boeing strike isn't over yet.
The union for 3,200 Boeing workers says employees have rejected another contract proposal, extending their nearly 6-week strike at 3 Midwest plants. The workers build fighter jets, weapon systems, and the U.S. Navy's first carrier-based unmanned aircraft. They've been on strike since August 4th, shortly after they rejected an earlier proposal that included a 20% wage hike over 5 years. The company says it has a contingency plan to continue supporting its customers during the strike. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
In Fort Wayne, Indiana, there's a 35-foot-tall sunflower named Clover. It was recently certified by Guinness as the tallest ever recorded, but Alex Babbitt sees much more than a plant. He grows sunflowers as a symbol of his love for Ukraine, his homeland. The sunflower is Ukraine's national flower. Babbitt says he's looking back at his roots and ahead to his future legacy. He was born and raised in Ukraine. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Shopping for replacement windows in Fayette County? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, a family-owned and operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
We have a great selection of colors and finishes. We service the entire Fayette County area and will come to your home. Visit us at metropolitanwindows.com or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Economy Furnace Company is excited to announce our early fall savings event. Qualifying buyers can take advantage of 0% interest financing or choose low payment options for up to 15 years. Economy Furnace is proud to be partnered with Amana, bringing you top-quality furnaces, air conditioners, and heat pumps designed for comfort, efficiency, and reliability. As your trusted neighbors, we understand the importance of keeping your home comfortable year-round. That's why Economy Furnace offers not only the best products, but also expert service you can count on. Regular clean and tune-ups are essential for your heating and cooling systems. A well-maintained furnace or air conditioner runs more efficiently, saves you money on energy bills, and helps prevent unexpected breakdowns. Beat the rush and schedule early. Don't wait until the cold weather arrives. Contact Economy Furnace at 724-438-4575 today to take advantage of our early fall savings event and enjoy 0% financing.
For economy, price, and quality service, call Economy Furnace.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful. We went to Mutt's on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friends. Mutt's on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutt's on Market Street on Facebook. Mutt's on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs. Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has two convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borges Jr.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
Your local station, WMBS.
Welcome back on board for hour number 2 of the Sportsline. Brought to you this morning by my friend Tom Vernon, KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown. The Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow. Now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9 and Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out, enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you as we move ahead here into hour number 2. We continue in the open line mode. Your chance to get up on that soapbox and be heard. And we've got a wide open board. If you'd like to jump into the sports talk, simply dial the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line at 724-438-4593. That number again, 724-438-4593. And do come ahead with your questions and your comments. Big day in college football, and we'll get into that in depth at the bottom of the hour. Bill Bender, a fine college football writer for the Sporting News, will join me at 11:30. We've got a couple of Steeler interviews coming up. Steelers home opener tomorrow at Acrisure Stadium, 1 p.m. kickoff against the Seattle Seahawks. And my usual interviews with right tackle Troy Fautanu and the Steelers star outside linebacker T.J. Watt. That's coming up, as well as your phone calls. Backyard Brawl today, Pitt at West Virginia, 3:30 on ESPN. Game will be heard right here on WMBS as well. The Panthers, 7.5-point favorites on the road. West Virginia a little banged up coming into this one without their top running back, Jaheen White. I'd like your thoughts on the Backyard Brawl and some of the other top games in college football today. That's on the docket. Steeler football is on the docket. Pirates suffered their 7th loss in a row in galling fashion last night in Washington. Poor slide by Alexander Canario. He was trying to score the tying run, and they fall 6-5. Be anxious to see how Bubba Chandler bounces back after his first start. He had come out of the bullpen previous and done very, very, very well. But he got racked up pretty good in his first start the last time out. He's making his second start this afternoon. That game is a 4:05 game. Bubba Chandler going against Andrew Alvarez, a left-hander for the Nationals. Okay, as I said, lines open. Do come ahead with your questions and comments. Anything and everything is fair game. Was heartened by the news that the Backyard Brawl is going to be extended. One day before the 108th installment of the Backyard Brawl between Pitt and West Virginia, both schools announced an extension of the rivalry for 4 years, from 2033 to 2036. After a break until 2029, WVU and Pitt will play each other for 8 years in a row. And I am certainly glad to see that. Really am glad to see that. So, as I mentioned, Steelers and Seahawks, home opener tomorrow at Acrisure Stadium. Seahawks coming in after a tough loss to the 49ers. They're 0-1. Steelers beat the Jets, held on to beat the Jets on a 60-yard field goal by Chris Boswell. They're 1-0. I caught up with the Steelers' young right tackle, Troy Fautanu, yesterday after practice. Let's eavesdrop on my conversation with Troy Fautanu, and if I can find out how to...
Uber is being sued by the U.S. Justice Department for allegedly...
That's not what I wanted. And I'm not quite sure how to get to the Fautanu interview. We've only got 11 of these on here, and I need number 19. And Bill's going to help me out here. There we go. TJ, I guess the best thing to say, actually, I want to anytime you get a win, it's a good day. Let's stop that one, and we're going to get to Fautanu first, and that is number 20. Troy, anytime you come out of an NFL game with a win, it's a good day. But I'm sure watching film this week had to be kind of interesting. A lot of things to work on, I think.
I feel like you win, you lose. There's always things you come out of the game with to work on, and I think that's just the mindset that we're going to have every single day in order to continue to get better every single week. So, yeah.
As they pointed out some things, one thing that was apparent, I think you guys probably felt the same way on the offensive line. You don't like to see your quarterback get hit as much as he did in that game.
100%. I mean, our job is to solely protect the quarterback and the guy who has the ball in the hand. So, got to do a better job for sure.
That being said, there were some good things, play action passes, 4 touchdown passes. You had to feel good about that part of things.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to put up some points on the board and come out with the win, so that's all that really matters.
I think the other thing that, as an offensive line, you guys are looking at, we talked about it a little bit last week, still want to get that running game perking a little bit more than it is.
100%. I mean, felt like we're just one block away from really breaking one, and I feel like the more we continue to hone in on the details, whether that's angles or just finishing blocks at the end of the plays, we'll be able to take off soon. So,
is a lot of what you saw out there technique and things like that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I always feel like we can improve on technique, but also finishing blocks or finding extra work if you block your guy and do your job. So
right. One of the things that Aaron mentioned, and I look at that, if you aren't able to get the running game going a little bit better, it might affect what happens with your play action, which he's really, really good at, because if the other team feels that you can't run, they're going to ignore the run a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Play action is all based off of how good of a run team you are, and felt like we did a good job in the play action, so they must have respected our run game in some fashion. So, yeah.
One thing that you guys have to like as an offensive lineman, he had the best timing as far as getting rid of the football of any quarterback last week in the NFL. He got rid of it in 2.9. That helps.
100%. When we're not having to block for 8 seconds every play, good things can happen, and all props to him. I mean, he's been in this league a very long time, and I mean, that's just who he is. So,
what about the challenge this week? You're facing a team that is one of the best in the NFL as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. I think you probably noticed that in looking at their film.
Yeah, I feel like their D-line is very disruptive. A lot of movement up front, like them switching gaps, all that type of stuff. So just being ready for it and making sure that we're ready to go and doing a better job than we did last week. So
you mentioned all the movement too. They sort of come at you from different angles too, and they're not afraid to send a safety or somebody like that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, just making sure that we're watching our keys and making sure that we're tuned in to where the protection is going, who we're sliding to, that type of stuff. So,
who does the calling and the protections?
Zach or 8. So it's up to them too. And from there, Zach sets the table. If quarterback wants to flip anything or switch anything,
he can change it. Yeah. Well, listen, one in the hopper already. Let's go get another one on Sunday. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
That is Troy Faltano, the Steelers' young right tackle, and he had a couple of flub ups on last Sunday against the Jets. Not as bad as the left tackle, though. Broderick Jones had a really, really tough outing for the Steelers last Sunday against the Jets, and that has to improve. It really, really does. And 53 yards on the ground, I mentioned to a caller earlier, just not enough production. They've got to get the running game in gear. So those are some things I'll be watching. We're going to get to the defense here in just a couple of minutes with TJ Watt. They had their own set of problems. Lines are open. I'd love to hear from you. Anything and everything pertaining to the world of sports is fair game. Pick up the phone, call the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. That number is 724-438-4593. Once again, 724-438-4593. You should have no problems getting through because I am gazing at a wide open board. So do come ahead. Want to talk Steelers? We'll do that. Want to talk backyard brawl? We'll do that. There's some other big games in college football today as well. And how about the Penguins with their news yesterday They re-signed Marc-Andre Fleury, their former longtime goaltender, to a performance contract. He's just coming in, and he's going to play an exhibition game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. But this is merely to let him retire as a Pittsburgh Penguin. And I was so happy to see that. One of my favorite Penguins, Marc-Andre Fleury. I thought that was a real classy move by the Penguins. All right, back to the lines we go. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Hey, good morning, George. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, just had a question about the Steelers' defense in the playoffs these last 7 or 8 years. I love T.J. Watt. I'm looking forward to the interview you're doing with him. But the Steelers' defense in the playoffs and down the end of the seasons the last 7 or 8 years has been atrocious.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you that now some of Watt's performance, and he would be the last one to use it as an excuse. He's been he was nicked up at the end of last year.
I know.
He could not move laterally, and that was a bad recipe against Baltimore, in that last game. But he's been nicked up. But that doesn't excuse the fact that the last 8 games of the season last year, and then starting off this year, they're giving up over 27 points a game. That's way too many points.
Oh, absolutely. And I would have rather have seen, especially, who knows what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers in the quarterback situation next year. I just don't understand why they don't go for a wide receiver, at least a wide receiver 2, to go along with what they've got. They have the chance to do it this year. I don't know. It's just.
Well, they have talked about possibly acquiring somebody. That hasn't been done, and I'm not sure whether they're going to do it at this point. My biggest concern with Rodgers right now, I liked what he did against the Jets. I thought he played well.
He's going to get killed, though.
But as Faltano pointed out, we don't like our quarterback getting hit that much. And Dick LeBeau and I talk each week, the former defensive coordinator, and he watches all the Steeler games, and he just told me succinctly, he said, if he continues to get hit like that at his age, he's not going to survive the season.
No, and he can't move. He really can't evade anybody.
But that's coming down to the offense. And we've been talking about the offense. They've spent money and draft picks on the offensive line the past few years. It's got to improve.
It has to. Well, at least I'm so happy to be talking about the Steelers after this season with the Pirates.
Oh, my God. I told a caller earlier, I watch them because I have to watch them, and you want to keep tabs on what's going on. They are so tough to watch. They are they find ways to lose games. It's unbelievable.
At least every 5th or 6th game, you get to watch Paul Skeens pitch.
That's a positive, yes.
Yeah, and Bubba, or what?
Well, I'm going to be anxious to see how he bounces back because his first start was not an ideal one.
No, that was definitely not ideal. Oh, and I'm just getting ready to walk in to the WVU Pitt game. So
who do you like? Who do you like today?
I'm from Morgantown. I live in Morgantown. I'm with all my friends, but it's going to be Pitt.
Well, I think that they're a lot farther along. I mean, people got to realize West Virginia had to bring in the second most amount of players of any team in college football, 81 different players.
Well, this portal is sad. For teams on the level of WVU, we just don't have the money to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and then losing those 2 players last week against Ohio U, particularly White, who's a game breaker, that really hurts. Yeah.
Well, the sad thing is it's hard to even be a fan because you don't know who's back. Even when he was coach in 2007, I knew all the players. I knew they were going to come back at least for a year.
Well, that's an unfortunate fact of life with the portal. And you can do some good things with the portal, but in other cases it will hurt you. But it's really funny. I know a lot of people in Morgantown because I worked there for so many years on the radio, and People were calling me and they said, "I ought to fire him right now." I said, "No. You can't do that right now. Give the man a chance to bring in his players. This is just the first year.
All I can say is WVU baseball has, since that
16th rated recruiting class for WVU baseball. Did you ever think you would say that about West Virginia baseball?
Yeah, absolutely not. And that stadium is absolutely beautiful. It's a perfect size. I don't know if you've been there. You probably have.
I have. Yeah.
It's it's cozy. It's got great views. It's so much better than the Holly Field or whatever it was called. That was terrible.
Well, that had been around a long time. Listen, I appreciate the call. Enjoy the game today, and I'm going to get to the TJ Watt interview right now.
Okay.
All right. You take care. Thank you. And as promised, I did talk with TJ Watt, as I normally do on Fridays, and let's eavesdrop on that interview. TJ, I guess the best thing to say, anytime you get a win, it's a good day. But I'm sure you looked at the film, you guys evaluated a lot of things to work on, I think.
Yeah, a lot of things to work on, but I think every team across the league has a lot of things to work on after week one. We definitely don't want to be playing our best football right now, but I mean, we just want to continue to get better each and every week and improve, and it's awesome more than anything to have the film, good or bad, to be able to learn and have a good week of prep.
There's an old saying that there's always a significant jump from week one to week two. I know you're hoping for that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't play good enough defense in week one. Very glad that our special teams and our offense bailed us out of that football game, and it's just another opportunity. You have to have a really short memory in the NFL, and we have another tough opponent this week in Seattle.
As you guys evaluated anything, was there anything you were able to pick out? Was it scheme-wise? Was it, as Coach Tomlin said, some guys just getting beat, which happens? Those guys are pros too.
I think it's a little bit of everything, honestly, and I think that's always kind of the case. And we just need to get back to playing sound football, and trusting in our opponents, trusting in our teammates. To do their 1/11th, and all together we eat.
Yeah, well, one thing that you can hang your hat on a little bit, at the end of the game, when you guys needed to come up with a couple of big plays, you were able to do it.
Yeah, and it just can't take us all the way to the fourth quarter to get to that point. And to be able to close the game out with the defense in the field is always something that we're very proud of, but something that we hope doesn't happen too much, because it means we're not doing our job.
Right. As you look at this week's opponent, they lost to the 49ers, but they've got a couple of good running backs. The wide receiver had a big game with 124 yards on some receptions. Your evaluation of the Seahawks, I know first and foremost, like most teams, they're going to want to run the football.
Yeah, they have a lot of weapons. They ran the ball a lot last week, and they're going to run the ball a lot this week, I assume, basically off what they did last week and what we showed last week as well. But we're up for the challenge. We feel like we have a good scheme. We feel like we had a good week of practice. But like I say, each and every week, it means nothing if we don't do it on Sunday.
Schematically, I didn't notice, and you said it might happen that way, depends on the team, you moving around that much. That could happen depending on the opponent.
Yeah, time to time we'll move around for sure.
Yeah. Looking at some of the other things that are going on, you came out of the game in pretty good shape. There was a few nicks and bruises here. You look at that each week too, but I think you guys came out of the game in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we did, and we had a great week of prep this week. We feel like we are confident going into this game and excited to get in front of Steel Nation on Sunday.
You mentioned special teams. What does it mean to have a weapon like Boswell? I mean, they said he's a serial killer, but I mean, that is a huge factor for any team to have somebody almost that automatic.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and it's something that we're not surprised by because we get to see it each and every day at practice.
So he's just as good in practice as
Oh, yeah. Boz is the truth, man. He really is.
Right. So you're feeling good and onward and upward, as Coach LeBeau used to say all the time. Onward and upward.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to Sunday.
Okay. Thanks a lot. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. TJ Watt, hoping for a better day for the Steeler defense against the Seahawks tomorrow. We're going to get a break in. Big weekend in college football. Bill Bender of the Sporting News, their fine college football writer, is up next right after this timeout.
You can go to Big Box Medical Office.
Now serving number 3,943.
Or
Hi, Hi, come on in. How are you feeling?
When you see doctors Paul Hartley and Mary Beth Riley, plus nurse practitioners Tara Bozek, Jessica Reckart, and Stacey Morris, you get one-on-one personal professional health care serving the area for over 3 decades. If you're looking for a primary care doctor, call Doctors Hartley and Riley at 724-437-1109 or online at ppcp.org. Or
serving number 3,940.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Chris Parker Jr., what's happening at Autoland for September?
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and Autoland wants to focus on the Hyundai Hope on Wheels program, which has donated over $275 million to pediatric cancer research with every new Hyundai purchase since 1998. Hyundai is committed to pediatric cancer research, not just in September, but every day, all year long.
September is also the beginning of fall.
It's the beginning of the 2026 Model Year 2, with falling prices, great deals, and a super selection of 2025 Hyundai. Interest rates remain high at other banks, but you can take advantage of 0% interest for 48 months on the 25 Santa Fe, or 1.99% financing for 60 months on 25 Tucsons and Sonatas, or lease a 25 Hyundai Elantra SE for only $229 per month.
And every new Hyundai comes with 3-year free complimentary maintenance and Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Autoland Hyundai, 25 East Fayette Street, Uniontown. Or visit their website, AutolandHyundai.com.
And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
NovaCare Rehabilitation in Uniontown is accessible for all of your recovery needs. New at NovaCare is pelvic floor physical therapy, a specialized program to treat patients with pelvic floor dysfunction related to bladder, bowel, sexual function, and pregnancy postpartum. These issues can affect both women and men and include urinary frequency, urgency and incontinence, pelvic pain, constipation, IBS, menopause, painful periods, and more. Call 724-437-0556 for an appointment in Uniontown. Personalize your care with NovaCare. In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit firestoneinsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or firestoneinsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, this is Pirates broadcaster Greg Brown, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the Sportsline on a beautiful Saturday. And we've got a huge day in college football on tap. And to that end, I called on a friend, Bill Bender, of the Sporting News, fine college football writer. Bill, this is going to be an interesting day in college football, starting with just south of here, the Backyard Brawl, 108th meeting between Pitt and West Virginia.
Yeah, you know, and I'm a fan of tradition. I'm a Southeast Ohio kid, as you know, and, you know, it just feels right when those two teams are on the field together. And, you know, a lot of passion. I was in Morgantown earlier this summer and visited with Rich Rodriguez. I talked to Pat Narduzzi at the kickoff with Kyle Lewis, who I think is arguably the best linebacker in college football. He's a really fantastic kid too. So, I'm glad they extended that series, and hoping that the game lives up to it tonight, and I think it will. Or tonight.
3:30 today. 3:30 this afternoon.
Today.
Yeah.
My bad. There's a lot of games, man. It's hard to keep them game time straight sometimes.
They're all over the place today, but a good weekend in college football. By the way, I just wanted to ask, did I notice that you were an Ohio U grad?
Yeah.
Are you still celebrating?
That was a big win last weekend, and then maybe that's why I got the game times confused, because the Bobcats play tonight against Ohio State, and when you go to Ohio University, it's a great school. It's a fun school. I had the privilege to live with some football players when I was down there, and I know how much it means to them. They actually played Ohio State my sophomore year and hung around for a half. So hoping that Parker Navarro's a nice player, and not at the Backyard Brawl's expense by any means, but the two best home wins in Ohio history in my lifetime were somehow they beat Pitt and somehow they beat West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Well, I warned everybody last week that I thought it might be a trap game for several reasons. First of all, West Virginia brought the second most amount of players in at 81 players out of the portal and transfers, and that's an awful lot of turnover. Second, Ohio U was a good football team. They won the MAC last year. They had 11 wins. They had a lot of guys back, and they had a good quarterback. So I said, this has a trap written all over it to me, and it turned out I was right.
Yeah, and, well, in fairness, and when I talked to Coach Rodriguez earlier this summer, that first year is tough, especially when you have all the portal players. You're seeing that at North Carolina with Belichick as well. I mean, on one hand, you're getting to learn your roster. There are going to be bumps. I think we'll see the best out of Rich Rodriguez in the years to come in his second act at West Virginia. So, and like you said, that's a tough. It's not a cupcake. I always call those. They have cupcakes with a little bit of glass in them when you're playing a team like Ohio University, and solid program. Brian Smith has taken over for Tim Albin. I don't, obviously tonight that's a different task, playing Ohio State, the monster that they are. But I'm hoping they hang around a little bit. And by the way, that line continues to push down. So there's a little bit of faith that the Bobcats might hang around at least for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Well, West Virginia and Pitt today, I think it's going to be very tough for West Virginia. Losing White, who was a tremendous running back, and Bray, the wide receiver. Their offensive line has not performed well, and that flies in the face of what Pitt is all about. They're very strong on the defensive line, and you mentioned that linebacking core. That's not a good recipe for West Virginia.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and they're going to have to value possession, and Pitt's throwing the ball well with Eli right now. And I mentioned those linebackers. It's funny. Rasheem Biles is a Pickerington kid. I live in Pickerington, so I know what he's all about. And Brian Manilak's their linebackers coach. He's a Pickerington guy, and got to speak with him in the summer as well. And, they've got a group that probably isn't getting as much attention as they deserve, and this is a big game for them because I feel like the ACC, when I came into the summer, George, it felt like it was Clemson and everybody else. Mm-hmm. Now it feels like Clemson and Florida State and Miami and Georgia Tech can make a statement today.
Well, I've been impressed with Georgia Tech. I really have, and that's a big game today. Clemson at Georgia Tech.
Do you think they can pull that upset?
I like Georgia Tech. I like the quarterback a lot. I really do.
He's tough, and he means so much. I've kind of used the phrase with him to this point in the season. I don't know that a player means more to their team than Haynes King does. A veteran, tough, running the ball. Now, they're going to have to get more than 3 yards of carry against this Clemson defense.
No question.
And the thing that I was saying that I don't know if we've got a real read on Clemson yet is LSU is very good. LSU and Clemson both had hangovers last week. So I do think we're going to get a better version of the Tigers on the road today. Our own Bill Trocchi will be covering the game, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one.
Now, one of the other great rivalries in college football is also taking place today. It's a 3:30 start. Number 6 Georgia at number 15 Tennessee. And I want to give you a little example. You may not remember this, but this rivalry has always been a very bitter rivalry, and Georgia has pretty much controlled things lately, but that wasn't always the way it was, and I'm going to take you back. Georgia had a long-time play-by-play guy who was there forever. His name was Larry Munson. And in 2001, Georgia came in an underdog to number 8 Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. And it was Mark Richt's first year in 2001 at Georgia. And this was the end of the game. I think you'll get a kick out of this.
Mm-hmm. 10 seconds. We're on their 6th. Michael Johnson turned around, asked the bench something. And now Green makes him line up on the right in the slot. We have 3 receivers. Tennessee playing what amounts to a 4-4 fake. And there's a touchdown! Touchdown, my God, a touchdown! We threw it to Haynes. We just stuffed him with 5-second slip. My God almighty, did you see what he did? David Green just straightened up, and we snuck the fullback over. Haynes is keeping the ball. Haynes has come running all the way across to the bench. We just dumped it over. It's 26-24. We just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their face.
They stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. Now that's a rivalry.
Yeah, Larry, that call, and then of course, I was really young when
the Herschel Walker call. Yeah,
my God, a freshman. Yeah. The not infamous, the famous call of Herschel Walker running into the end zone. So a lot of history here. And then today, Larry was fantastic, right? So today you're looking at a weird stat for you. The last 4 times Georgia has come to Neyland, they've won by 30.5 points per game.
Wow.
So I feel like we're being teased a little bit. Now, it's a believe it when I see it game. And I can believe that Tennessee can win this game. I mean, Joey Aguilar's playing fantastic. They're throwing the ball down the field.
Have you been surprised by how he's performed?
No, because he fits into that system. And Josh Heupel, the key is when they got Aguilar, I said if he doesn't turn the ball over, he's going to have a lot of success. And that's what they've done the first 2 weeks. Now, Georgia hasn't thrown the ball down the field much with Gunnar Stockton. So I want to see if they've been holding back the last 2 weeks. Their defense is still very good. You mentioned it. It's a great day for rivalries like that. And I think this is the game that's going to define the day. If it doesn't define the day, then A&M and Notre Dame will tonight.
Well, I'm looking forward to that one as well. And they had a great game last year, if you recall. The other one that I'm keeping a close eye, and you mentioned the ACC. South Florida, number 18, at number 5, Miami. South Florida has shown me some things in these early games.
Yeah, do you have the CW on your TV? Do you know which channel it is? You got to find that first. And if you have a wife like I do that watches Gilmore Girls, you know which channel it is. So we won't get too far into that. But Miami does the reality check come today? Miami's really good up front. And South Florida's front 7 on defense, led by those linebackers, they're really good too. And they made it a muddy game against Florida. And they're going to have to do that again today, make it ugly. I was probably one of the most stunning results of the early season was the way that South Florida beat Boise State in week 1. It wasn't that they beat them, it was that they hammered them. So if Byron Brown can control the tempo, they can't have 100 yards in penalties again. If they do that, they'll get crushed. But, man, you imagine if you're a South Florida fan and you beat Florida and Miami in back-to-back weeks, the repercussions of that?
Yes, that would really be something. And then, of course, another noontime start as Wisconsin at number 19, Alabama, and I'm not quite sure what to make of Alabama.
Neither am I, and I'm really not quite sure what to make of Wisconsin. So, I mean, it's going to be one of those eye-openers from that standpoint. You know, it's a 21-point spread, so I think the consensus here is that most people believe Alabama's just going to roll through them. So the key for Wisconsin, what they couldn't do last year, they couldn't contain Jalen Milroe. So can they contain Alabama's offense, limit the big plays, and again, just make it a Big Ten football game? And if they do, maybe they make it a 4-quarter game. I'm not really concerned about the result in this one. I'm just wondering out loud whether Wisconsin can compete, which is something they couldn't do in this game last year.
I got to ask you, since we're in the area, and we talked about Pitt and West Virginia already, but the other school that is garnering a lot of attention, and rightfully so, Steve Jones, their longtime play-by-play guy, I've known him for 50 years, he thinks it's the year. Villanova is at Penn State. Penn State is number 2. Is this the year Penn State can get over the hump?
I love Steve. He's a good friend, good friend in the business, and he's excited about this team. I'm going to see them in 2 weeks, and I cannot wait for that game. Oregon, Penn State at the end of the month.
Yeah, Oregon has really been something. Yeah.
We haven't talked about Oregon, and it's not just about the number that they put up on Okie State last week. It's the way they did it, and that's what makes that Penn State Oregon game so intriguing to me in a couple weeks. Penn State will obviously take care of business today. All those guys returning, white out. Oregon's going to experience that for the first time. Now, consider this, though. If Oregon can go win that game, in a very short time, they would have beat Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State in the Big Ten championship game, then Penn State on the road. They won at Michigan. They split with Ohio State. That just says to me that they're not just in the Big Ten. They're in the Big Ten to win. And I think Penn State, it's going to be a huge game for them. It's another top 5 opportunity, and I really like this roster. And, quite frankly, I can't wait to see Steve when I get there. He's such a good guy.
He's the man. Unfortunately, sad news about what's going on with his longtime partner, who's also one of my favorite people in the world, former Steelers linebacker Jack Ham, the Hall of Famer. He is battling cancer, and he's having some issues. And my thoughts go out to Jack, who's one of the best. He really is. Great guy.
And one of the best linebackers to ever play the game. And, my heart prayers also going out to him. As a kid growing up in Ohio, and he probably doesn't know this, Jack Lambert and Jack Ham were 2 of the guys that wanted to play that position that, your dad just kind of showed you old NFL films of those 2.
Well, we've got a great day for viewing pleasure, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you a little bit about the business of college football. And I keep reading things. We're not out of the woods yet with name, image, likeness, and how they're going to handle it and all the things. What's the latest you hear about all that?
Oh, it's evolving. The portal, obviously, they're going to have one window, it sounds like, and that's a good thing. NIL will continue to evolve, and it's a little bit of haves and have-nots. But I think the business of college football, once we get this business model down and make sure that we're compensating athletes correctly, that we're going to be fine. The games on the, we've spent this whole segment talking what I think is always the best part, the games on the field, the rivalries, the passion, the fan bases, the memories of, whether it's Munson or, a memory that you have of the backyard brawl. When I was talking to Mike Montoro when I was down at West Virginia this year, just through West Virginia's history with him, and he's just such a good SID. It was a lot of fun learning. It was a learning experience for me. You can just say Major Harris,
right,
but there's a lot more to it than that.
Oh, there is. And, of course, my ties to West Virginia, you probably, I don't know whether Mike DeCourcy has told you, but I worked in Morgantown for many years, started the statewide Sportsline, Mountaineer Countdown, Coliseum Countdown. Tony Caridi, the play-by-play guy, was my understudy back in the day, and a lot of ties there, and I saw a lot of the great games. I'll never forget being there at Pitt Stadium in 1970 when Pitt came back and won that game after trailing 35-8 at halftime, and they wanted to lynch Bobby Bowden after the game, the West Virginia fans.
I'll tell you one real quick. The one moment I had down there, and like I said, being a Lancaster, Ohio kid, I interviewed Reed Carrico. And he's an Ironton. But they say Ironton differently down there. It's Ironton. And, that's the best part for me is you have that connection as a neighboring state of, when you grow up in Southeast Ohio, you go to Ohio University, you know all about West Virginia and Pitt and how passionate those fan bases are and enjoy watching the games. I've always thought, selfishly, the Big Ten would move that way and bring those schools in, and it would be a lot more fun. But that's just a product of where I grew up. And, so I'll make sure to watch and appreciate. And, I do appreciate Coach Narduzzi and Coach Rodriguez. Both of those guys, I'm going to tell you, George, they've always been good to me.
Well, both of them have been very good to me. I had a great interview with Pat. Unfortunately, one of my favorites is no longer handling the football SID duties at Pitt, and that's E.J. Borghetti, the great E.J. Borghetti.
Oh, he's a man, too. And I had lunch with Mike DeCourcy this week, a Pittsburgh guy, and he was in Ohio for a U.S. men's national team event in Columbus this week, and we had lunch. And, the best part about Mike is he's done this forever. 25 years at Sporting News, a mentor, a good friend. And, we sat there and we started talking and daydreaming about a Packers-Steelers Super Bowl. As you know, I'm a Green Bay fan. And so I'm pretty excited with how that's gone so far.
Well, the Packers have looked good. The Steelers, they got a little work to do, but I'm hoping. You had a good lead-in before you came on, my weekly interview with T.J. Watt.
They had a really exciting game last week. I'm debating whether I'm going to, bring my son. We may come for that game against the Steelers and Packers. I would love to be at that game and just experience it. Aaron Rodgers aside, I appreciate what Aaron did, and he showed last week there's still something in there. He's a really good player.
Right. So, in any case, and you talked about Narduzzi. I've got a great relationship. Rich Rodriguez, I actually go back. I've known him since he was a player for Don Nehlen. That's how far back we go.
And a good one, right?
He was a safety. Yeah.
Yeah, good one. So, I mean, that's another thing. And this is why, I love this business. I love what I do. It's going to be a long day today. I'm going to catch my daughter's volleyball game while these noon games get started, and then we'll get knee-deep in it all day. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know, other than that Clemson-Georgia Tech game here at noon, whether or not we're going to have a lot of action in this noon window, but I know it's going to heat up. And as you know, as we found out last week, every time you think the outcomes are going to be what they're going to be, college football always gives you a few nice surprises.
That's what makes it so great. One other thing I neglected to ask you, we were talking about the business of college football. I just saw this story the other day, and what is going on there? I guess there's 14 players being investigated for gambling in different programs. Yeah.
Well, this was a risk that, with the gambling being legalized the way it's been legalized, you wondered how much this was going to happen and how it was going to happen. And I think it's something that we're going to keep an eye on as we go. But, I have a son too, and you just tell them you can't, once you get to that college level, you just can't do it. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. So I hope it doesn't become a widespread thing. I know we had the Iowa State guys last year. I just hope this isn't something. I understand these are 18 to 22-year-old kids, and I can't say I didn't do some dumb things when I was their age, but I also didn't play Division I sports.
Right. Well, listen, Bill, I really appreciate the time. Always great to have you on. Maybe we can do this a little bit later on in the season. And if you see DeCourcy again, give him my regards. Will you do that?
I will. Anytime. Just give me a shout, George. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you.
All right. You take care. Bill Bender of the Sporting News. We thank him for coming on today. We'll wrap things up here on the Sports Line right after this.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like John from Morgantown. John had such extreme numbness and pain that he was having difficulty feeling his car pedals. Then John discovered Tri-State Neuropathy Centers and their effective FDA-approved treatment program that has no drugs, is non-invasive and painless. John's great results have given his freedom back, and he's doing the things he wants, like simply driving or cutting the grass. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help John, along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 304-777-2068. That's 304-777-2068. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Yeah, they're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
A Best in Fayette winner for windows and home improvements, Home Warehouse in Uniontown knows how to make your house a happy home. Seasons are changing. Save on energy costs, keep out drafts, and update your home with beautiful new windows, doors, and storm doors from Home Warehouse, your one-stop shop for all your exterior building needs. Roofing shingles, metal and commercial rubber roofing, shutters, siding, soffit and fascia, railing and decking, as well as driveway cedar, flooring, wood pellets at great prices, and don't forget the dog food. So for selection and hometown service, see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse, Connellsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, Saturday till noon, closed Sunday and holidays.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
Casey Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown and owned by the Vernon family, wants you to know they have new hours. Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come on into Casey's and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. They can also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126. Casey's, the best in Fayette County.
Hi, this is Pat Narduzzi from the University of Pittsburgh, and you're listening to The Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
Pitt coach Pat Narduzzi, he'll be in Morgantown, 3:30 this afternoon, West Virginia and Pitt, 108th get-together for the Backyard Brawl. And as Bill Bender mentioned, I'm so happy that after a break until 2029, Pitt and West Virginia will play each other for 8 years in a row as they extended that rivalry. And that's the way it should be. I still have high hopes that at some point maybe Penn State and Pitt might play again, but just not sure that is in the cards. I don't think Penn State has any interest in playing Pitt, so that's why Pitt and West Virginia make so much sense. The two teams want to play each other, and it is a rivalry. Steelers home opener tomorrow against the Seahawks. I'm hoping to see some big improvement, particularly defensively from the Steelers. They got to shut down that Seattle running game. And the other area I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on is the offensive line, because it's got to play better. They did not play well against the Jets. Aaron Rodgers got hit way, way too much for a 41-year-old quarterback, and he will not survive the season getting hit that much. That's for sure. So those are on tap. What we've got on tap today, we're going to go join NCAA college football right after right at the top of the hour, should I say. We're joining NCAA college football. Wisconsin at Alabama. And as Bill Bender mentioned, really don't know what to expect from either one of these teams. So it could be an interesting game, but we're joining college football right at the top of the hour, Wisconsin at Alabama. Later on today, 108th installment of the Backyard Brawl, Pitt at West Virginia. Bill Hillgrove and Pat Bostic on the Pitt Radio Network, broadcasting the Panthers and the Mountaineers. And then, of course, tomorrow, Steelers and Seahawks, 1 p.m., the home opener for the Steelers, and we'll have other NFL action on Sunday night with the Falcons at the Vikings. So this is your place to be for college and pro football. That wraps things up for the Sportsline. George Von Benko saying so long. Sportsline being brought to you this morning by Tom Vernon and the KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9, Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out and enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown.